Hello and welcome to another episode of Wolf Millionaire's YouTube channel, a free place for you to learn everything you need to know about Instagram. If you haven't already checked out my latest Wolf Millionaire webinar, go to wolfmillionaire.com and sign up. I will teach you all the different ways that you can be making money from Instagram like myself and my students have been for the last couple years. It doesn't take a lot of effort. I'm going to walk you through everything so that you understand all the different ways that you can make money. At the end of the webinar, if you stick around, I'm going to send you my free updated 35-page Instagram guide filled with tips, tricks, and strategies that will help you get more likes, better following, and more engagement on your posts. So make sure you take advantage of all the free learnings that I have from my blog to my YouTube channel to my webinar and to my free 35-page Instagram guide. Today we're going to dive into the Instagram algorithm feed and how you can hack your posts to kind of hedge against, Instagram's pie in the sky changes that they made to the algorithm, which reduced and eliminated the chronological kind of aspect that was Instagram before. Now, we all used to enjoy the fact that we could post anything on Instagram, whether it was a photo or video, and before the Instagram feed algorithm changes, they would show up in the order that you posted them in your followers' feeds, which was very awesome for us who were posting, 10 to 15 photos a day for our, niche accounts. For me, it was my car accounts, because it was an untapped, unfiltered way to reach all of my followers with ads and promotions and basically everything that I was paid to do on behalf of my clients and partners. Now with the algorithm changes that we have, we've got to get a little bit more creative and understand how the algorithm is curating the photos that we see in our feed every day. And it's not too hard. Yes, there's a lot of, science and secrecy behind the algorithm feed that it is today. But if you've been paying attention to my blog posts or my YouTube channel, you'll know that Instagram is tweaking all of this, gathering all the information, and there will be another update. So there should be a new update to the Instagram algorithm feed before the end of the year. That's my prediction. If not, very early next year in 2018. And again, this is just following, what I've seen with every other social network out there, from Twitter to Facebook and now to Instagram. So let's dive into today's article. If you want to take a look at it, go to blog.wolfmillionaire.com and take a dive into some of the links that I provided you with to discuss the Instagram algorithm feed hacking that you can do. Now, let's dive in and take a look here. The Algorithm Feed Hacking 101. Engagement. The most telling element of the new algorithm feed is the overall popularity of a given post. When a person or brand publishes a post, Instagram first exposes that post and delivers it to a sample audience of your following. If the initial quick engagement from that initial sampling of your audience that they delivered your post to is high, it'll become more visible generally across all of your other followers, thus allowing it to get more likes and more comments. If it's not, it will get a lower weighting and won't show up as high in other people's feeds. So posts that garner more engagement tend to rank higher on other people's average feeds. So make sure that the posts that you're creating are timed at the right time, that are colorful and inspirational and motivational. And if you can, get into some engagement groups that I've discussed and covered before. Make sure you go check out my blog. I explain all of that, of how you can kind of trick Instagram in thinking that the initial audience that it shared your post to really liked it and did actually like the post, which will allow it to propagate and be higher up in other people's feeds. That's the really important part of the engagement piece here. Remember, you don't have to have millions of followers to rank higher in your followers' feeds when you post. You just have to make sure how to properly edit your Instagram photos, which I just went over to show you how to make them pop so that they're really colorful, very vibrant, very bright in people's feeds, which will help you get more likes and comments, and ultimately that will lead to more followers. Next up is relevance. The likelihood to see a post high in your feed increases if you've engaged with a user's previous posts with likes or useful comments or DMs or even shared Instagram posts with that user or that account. Make sure you read the importance of using organic comments versus automated comments. It could save your account from getting disabled like so many who continue to use programs and apps that Instagram doesn't support. And as a result, they get their Instagram accounts disabled. And trust me, that's the last thing you're going to want to do after putting time and effort into growing your own Instagram account that is worth tons of money with every week and every month and every post that you do. Remember, this is a long-term game. Don't sign up for my program if you think you're going to fucking make money overnight. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm giving you a blueprint how to create an Instagram account. No matter what niche, no matter what hobby, no matter what interest you have of yours, that's the key, is creating an Instagram account that is of interest to you. Not what's hot, not a luxury account, not a car account, unless that truly is your interest. But you're going to be the most successful person with your Instagram account if you choose a niche that is very interesting to you, so that the time that you're spent, playing on Instagram isn't really feeling like work, it's feeling like play. And as a result, you're either learning or sharing your learnings with other people. And that right there is the key to success on Instagram. Any social network, to be honest with you. Instagram's here to stay. I consider Instagram the biggest blogging platform out there. It has taken over as the medium that bloggers, traditional bloggers would use to create a blogging niche or a blogging presence. It doesn't mean that it replaces it, but it is definitely the platform where people are choosing to put their efforts first instead of blogging. Because with blogging, you've got to blog for a year or two before you actually really see real sticky engagement. With Instagram, you can start growing a following and attracting new users and reaching people and DMing people and interacting and building networks and connections with people around the world. Because not everybody, but 700 million people are already on Instagram. So it's kind of a nice, easy, quick place. It's free. If you've got a mobile phone or tablet, you can download the Instagram app. Doesn't matter if you're on iOS or Android. And start plugging away with all my strategies to start delivering high quality content, to connect with other people that have similar interests with you around the world, and to figure out business opportunities and how to make money with, again, all the strategies that I've laid out. It's not rocket science, but it does require you to follow all of my steps and all of my strategies and all of my tricks step by step. And I outline and do it all slowly and clearly, literally step by step in my InstaWealth growth system so that you can follow along. Now, let's get back to the relevance here. Remember, the Instagram algorithm feed is based on the popularity that determines the engagement, which is also double-edged. Instagram is now about how popular a post is generally, and for you personally. The algorithm feed has a fairly sophisticated way of determining what topics or brands you could be interested in. If you've interacted with a high volume of posts related to cooking, Instagram's going to filter cooking posts to the top of your feed and in your search for the Explore page. So remember that. Relationships is another thing that Instagram uses to determine what type of feed to send you, just so that you know. A more specific type of algorithm feed relevancy occurs with users that have personal or professional relationships with one another, and whose Instagram activity reflects those relationships. Given that it's fairly easy for Instagram to determine your personal connections, whether it's posts from close friends or family members, especially if you're on Facebook, because again, if you have an Instagram account and you've used an email address that Facebook knows exactly who you are. And if you're interacting with someone else on Instagram that also is using an email account that might be similar or to one that they have with Facebook, Facebook now knows exactly who the two of you are. And so if both of you are interacting on each other's pages, they will be able to determine in the algorithm that you guys are connected and that you frequently comment or talk, whether it's in DMs, in comments, whether you're sharing others' posts to your social networks. Instagram knows all this. So you might share a great deal of photos with another user, but not necessarily with close friends. But on Instagram, it will rank as high as someone you are as closely associated with. Timing is another big factor, a major factor not related to how you engage with specific users posting the timelines of your posts. This piece here is all about, finding the best time for you to post to your audience. If you are targeting a certain time zone, then you're going to want to be conscious of what time of the day you're posting to make sure that it's a hot time in the time zone that you're posting. Here in Toronto, I'm on New York or Eastern time. And so I usually post at 10 a.m. like clockwork. That's just, how I like to post. That's my schedule. I get up at 9. I think about what I'm going to say, what I'm going to post. I go through some of my photos, a quick edit, a quick watermark, and bam, I post out to Wolf Millionaire. And 10 o'clock is kind of the latest I would want to post, just because kind of it's midday for the East Coast. But again, if we think 3 hours behind, that's 7 a.m. for the people on the West Coast in California. And there's a huge population on both East Coast and West Coast. So I kind of want to maximize, the people who view my content in North America. Now, realistically, I probably should be posting at 8 a.m. to really maximize, the people getting up on the Eastern time zone. But then that's 5 a.m. on the West Coast. And, by the time those people wake up in 2 hours, it's possible that my post will not be seen. So, it's all about testing, but it's also understanding about, where your target audience is, where the most of your followers are, and when are they most likely to engage with you or with your posts. Searches. Instagram also tends to prioritize accounts that you search for. So if you search for a specific account that maybe you're not following or you are following and those posts aren't showing up higher on your feed, the more you search for that account and the more you interact with that account, the higher up that account is going to deliver posts in your feed. Sharing. When you share a post, Instagram also determines that you are likely to want to see posts by the user whose posts you have shared. On top of that fact, if you share posts with specific users, those users also may come to rank higher on your feed as well. The act of sharing with the user makes it clear to Instagram that you care about this person. Remember that. The duration. The time spent with a post also informs Instagram algorithm of what you like. The amount of seconds you spend looking at a post as you scroll through your feed shows Instagram that user's post should rank higher up in your feed in the future. And that's especially, again, Instagram is looking for your habits. So you might not realize that what you're doing on Instagram as you go through your feed multiple times a day at specific times for specific amounts of time and X amount of photos. Instagram mathematically is looking at all that and deriving it into their feed. And so, the time you spend on a user's profile would also impact the algorithm. So make sure you provide your followers with photos and videos that are worthy of their viewing. And not just viewing and liking, but, that they want to stop and look. Maybe they want to screenshot. Maybe they want to share it. This is all the stuff that you have to think about before you share a photo or a video on your account. And it might seem tedious, and you might find it to be a little difficult at first. But again, I walk you through all the content strategies step by step so that you can get your head wrapped around the real easy, basic, science of creating or finding the hottest content that you possibly can without infringing on someone else's trademark. And that is the, very important piece to Instagram is content is king. So you always want to be making sure that the content that you're posting is the highest quality and the most relevant for the people that you're trying to attract. And that's it. You can read through a little bit more of it. I posted my very first gym selfie, which I'm kind of proud of. Hopefully it's going to hit 1,000 likes because that was the goal for the post today. I've been working really, really hard, focusing on my physique and my body, trying to eat healthier, trying to get better rest, trying to drink, a ton of water in the day because all those factors help me become more productive, have better moods during the day. Being an entrepreneur is not the easiest thing in the world. There's ups and downs. You guys might see me as the happy-go-lucky, Wolf Millionaire with my McLaren and my gold watch. But I want more. And, I've got an older mother who's widowed because I lost my father when I was 19, and a younger brother who has a very rare genetic disease of which, I will need to bear on my shoulders when my mother gets older and can no longer look after him. So these are all the kind of stresses that I have in my life. And so every day is not perfect. It's not filled with rainbows and unicorns. So just remember that. I'm trying to weave the most positive story and learnings and motivation out of my life for you, but it's not always easy. So just keep that in mind. Just stay consistent, learn all my strategies, be the best version that you can be every day, and trust me, everything else will work out in the long run. Until the next episode, happy Instagramming, everyone.